Good evening, Pokemon fans and Draft League players alike. This is Blazeman, and today I'm bringing you my Week 4 battle of the UCA, my Ubers League that I'm in, and we are taking on Washermain and his Singapore Sizzles this week. So let's get right into the battle. So before we get into the battle, let's talk about the team I'm bringing. I didn't show the set off, but I'm bringing an Ockerberry set up 3 attacks. Magina. I am bringing a dual setup Scald Energy Ball Terra Water Manaphy. I am bringing a Scarf Crocodile with Rocks 3 attacks. I'm bringing a more bulky offensive Taunt with Taunt Knock, I think it's Taunt Knock, U-Turn and Bleak Wind Storm. I am bringing a Heavy Duty Boots, Shed Tail Rapid Spin to attack Cyclizar. And I'm bringing a mixed defensive Brambleghast with Power Whip, Leech Seed, Spikes and Poltergeist. So as a team, let's quickly talk about Washermain's team here, or as Meki as he's also known on Showdown. So this team was a very scary matchup for me. So these are the sort of these are kind of the ones I expected. So he has a Zapdos, obviously, as you can see here. He's got a Genesect. He's got a Terra Annihilate, which is fucking disgusting. He's got a Clodsire and a Pterodon Dozer, which is a pretty big threat. He's got a Ferrograph. He also had a Diancie Mega that he didn't bring, a Cinderace that he didn't bring, and he also had a couple of other low tier threats, which I didn't expect too much. But a combination of these, I expected the first 5 plus Diancie or Cinderace, but Ferrograph makes sense now. Obviously, looking upon matchup, it's a normal type that has Sap Zipper, so it just kind of hard rules Brambleghast. But yeah, anyway, let's jump into the battle and let's see how we do. So I'm going to lead off here with my Tornadus. As you can see, anything apart from the Zapdos, it's pretty free. I can taunt the Clodsire, or I can knock off anything else and get free chips. So as we see, this Genesect is going to come in. Now I thought it might have Ice Beam here, so you're going to see me click knock off just to remove the Scarf or the Specs. You see me actually remove the Specs from the Zapdos as well, and you see that it's pressure, not static, so that's good. You're going to see it go for the Choice Specs Hurricane, obviously not Specs, which is knocked off, and I'm going to activate my Brambleghast Wind Rider. Brambleghast is an amazing switch into Zapdos. That's good, so then you're going to see me in turn predict the Zapdos to switch out. And in turn, you're going to see the Zapdos go for the I go for the Spikes, predicting the Zapdos to switch out because it can't stay in versus me. Doesn't make sense. It won't be able to touch me at all. And then you see, so then obviously the Ferrograph comes in because on my Spikes, because obviously it walls my Brambleghast. And then you see me go into my beginner because I'm not quite sure what this thing's going to do. I thought it might go for the Fairy move, predicting my Cyclizar Crocodile. So I'm actually going to go into my beginner, and we dodge a Thunder Egg, which is super clutch here. So, which can be very helpful. But yeah, so as we switch out, we're going to go into our Crocodile and the Thunder Wave. I didn't think the Dazzling Gleam was that likely. So yeah, you're going to see we get in Big Croc here, and I'm just going to click the Darkest Lariat here in case the Zapdos wants to come in on an EQ, and it covers anything apart from the Annihilate. But as you can see here, my opponent's going to click Protect, and then he's going to switch out. So I double into Taunt, predicting the Annihilate to come in here. My opponent actually goes into the Zapdos, which is interesting because this is, as you can see, this is an offensive Zapdos from its Choice Spec set, and my Crocodile actually would have KO'd that mon after the range of HP is at. So I like to go back into my Brambleghast here. As you can see, he's going to defog away, which makes sense. But I can always set up my Spikes again for free. I'm not really concerned about this Zapdos much at all. You can see it go for the Heat Wave, and again, it's going to activate my Wind Rider because Brambleghast is very niche in some matchups, and this is one of those matchups. And you see me, I'm going to elect to get my layer of Spikes again because I'm really not bothered by this thing. I've got Power Whip, so I can always stall it out. So yeah, as you can see, my opponent's going to go for the defog, and I believe I click Power Whip here to get some chip off. Now I want to get my Spikes up again. Okay, that's fair enough. I really want the Spikes up because they're good for chip damage versus Dondozo and Clodsire and things of that nature. So on the defog here, I believe I click Power Whip to get some chip off on the Zapdos because it's quite a pain in the arse. Yeah. So if I get some chip off, as you see, it does a huge amount of damage. Obviously, it's +1 and it's offensive Zapdos. But once I can remove the Zapdos, my Brambleghast, my Crocodile goes in very well. Scarf EQ's looking super free. So I'm going to elect to get my Spikes up again, knowing I can 1v1 that as Zapdos. Obviously, it would die to probably another Power Whip or two. So I'm going to go back into my Crocodile on this Brambleghast. as my opponent elects to get up the Wish. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to, it's a 50-50. Do they go into Zapdos or do they go into Annihilate? And as you can see here, I do not unfortunately get the prediction right, and I go into the, I go in for the Darkest Layer and I give this Annihilate a boost. As you can see, that's not very bulky based on the amount of damage that did. Now, I was obviously not happy about giving this thing a Rage Fist boost, but I was more concerned about killing the Zapdos. And obviously it would have lived here. So as you can see, I'm going to go into my Tornadus here, which is a defensive Rocky Helmet set. So it should take on this Annihilate all day, and as you see, it's going to U-turn out here. And it's going to take a bit of Rocky Helmet chip, which is lovely. So we know that Zapdos is going to come back in, but actually Farigiraf comes back in, which I thought was quite surprising. So obviously, not wanting to take a Thunder Wave, I taunt the Farigiraf as it goes for the Thunder Wave, which I then, I believe, yeah, goes for the Wish actually. Okay, my apologies, I thought it was Thunder Wave. So I'm going to elect to get off a free knockoff here as the Zapdos comes in, but that's okay because it gives me more chip on the Zapdos and it keeps it nice and low. But obviously it's going to get back up to full, but I'm not too concerned about that because Brambleghast does take it on very well. Obviously it's going to not get the Wish up, so I can get off a free knockoff and get a free chip. As you see here, my opponent's going to elect to click Defog and get rid of their the Spike, obviously, because this is their only way of removing hazards. And they're going to double out into their Farigiraf, predicting the Power Whip or the Poltergeist here. But I'm going to just, again, set my spikes up because I don't really care about the Zapdos. It's only at 15%. And I can just wall it all day with my Brambleghast. So again, I'm going to go into Krookodile here because we've seen this thing has a lot of Wish, Protect, Thunderwave and all that rubbish. So again, we see our opponent is going to switch out again, and I'm forced to make this. And I'm going to go back into the Tornadus, predicting the Annihilate to come in here. But obviously my opponent goes into its Zapdos. Not obviously, my opponent goes into Zapdos, so I don't get that prediction right because I would have killed the Zapdos. But with my Krookodile, probably got and potentially got the Moxie boost as well, and did a lot of damage. But it's okay. We live and learn. As I say, my Brambleghast is still at full, and it can't touch me. So you'll see my opponent's actually going to click the Thunderbolt here, which is a nice and 4-hit KO. Thankfully, it's not a 3-hit KO. But my my Brambleghast does have the leftovers, so that gives me back up. That gets me back up a good amount of percent. So I'm going to just elect. I believe I click Spikes here. I think to really punish the Zapdos. Yeah, I click. Oh, actually, no, I do double actually, which is good. I thought that was the play. I do double into my Krookodile here. So yeah, this is the turn I'm gonna. I believe I'm just gonna click EQ to get rid of that Zapdos. Sorry, punish the Annihilate switching. No, I get my Stealth Rocks up here. Yeah. Sorry, this battle happened a week ago or so, and it's been a quite hectic week so far. If my thought process isn't quite direct, I do apologise. It's been a busy week for me, but I get my thought process was I can get up my Stealth Rock to get constant chip damage off on that Zapdos. So I go into Cyclozar here, predicting the Water move. I was going to go into my Manaphy, but as you can see here, on the Zapdos switching, I'm going to elect to go for the Shed Tail into my Manaphy because my Manaphy really walls the Dondozo here. It can set up on it. Obviously it's got unaware, but it won't break my sub with anything. But I do elect, because the Zapdos is in, I do elect to go into my Brambleghast, not wanting my Manaphy to take too much chip damage from this one. Because of Thunderbolt, even though I'm behind the sub, will hurt a lot. But yeah, so I get my Thistle in behind the substitute, and we're going to see this Zapdos pivot out to the Genesect, which I was quite surprised about. But yeah, so that was interesting. Obviously, I'm going to click Spikes again to get those everlasting spikes up again. And this gives me a free attack for this Genesect. This gives me a very free Poltergeist. If the Farigiraf comes in, it's not the end of the world. I'm still behind the sub. But obviously, you see my opponent's going to click Flamethrower to break my sub, and I'm going to get off Poltergeist here, and does a nice and 56%. So obviously, I'm not going to stay in again because Zapdos becomes a big problem if this one goes down. So I'm going to elect to switch out here into my Manaphy, as you can see that this thing is Choice Scarf. So I'm going to bring in my Manaphy, and I'm going to get off a lot of chip damage on something. As you can see, that's going to do negligible damage because I'm a Manaphy, even though it's +1 Genesect. But yeah, this Genesect is quite a threat, and as you can see, I'm going to get some Lefty's recovery back here. So I'm going to elect to Terra Water because you can see if that's not Water Absorb Clodsire, their Water switchings are not very good at all. So I'm going to click Terra Water, and I'm going to elect to get off a Terra Water boosted Scald, and unfortunately the Zapdos just hangs on barely at 13%. But yeah, so not wanting to sack off my Manaphy, I'm going to switch out into Brambleghast, but I do keep this up nice and low, which is always good. Obviously, as you can expect, my opponent's going to go for the Thunderbolt, which again is a 40k on my, is just between a 40k and a 30k on my Brambleghast, depending on the rolls. But yeah, so as you can see here, I don't want to click Leech Seed because I'm concerned the Friggraph's going to come in, but it's still getting nice and low with Spike Chip and all that. So I'm going to double into my Krookodile, predicting this thing to come in again here. And I believe this is the turn I clicked Darkest Lariat on the Zapdos because I thought my opponent would predict me to. I thought my opponent would think I'd go for EQ, but I actually go for the Darkest Lariat, and I killed the Zapdos. It wasn't a massive threat, but it was getting in the way of Krookodile. So Krookodile gets the first kill of the match. Well done, KROOKODILE. Good job. Yeah, but I'm actually a Scarf Moxie set, as I mentioned earlier. So once I get the team a bit weakened, Dondozo mainly, I can do a lot of damage with EQ. I'm looking very good as a win con. So yeah, as I say, big threat gone because it was a pain in the arse. I'm electing to go into Dondozo. I'm electing to go into my Brambleghast on the Dondozo, predicting the body press, but my opponent actually goes for Avalanche, which was a good play. And as you can see, it's quite a lot of damage. So this is a quite offensive Dondozo. But yeah, I'm just going to elect to double out into my Manaphy because I see it's quite offensive. I don't know, it could potentially be banded on the Avalanche. So I'm going to predict that and switch out. And this turn, I believe I'm just going to click a Tail, a Terra Water Boosted Surf, I believe. No, I switch out. I switch out Fearing the Thunderwave. That was it. Yeah, I switch out Fearing the Thunderwave, not wanting my Manaphy to get paralysed. As you see, the Thunderwave come off here. Now, I believe this should OHKO this Farigiraf here, but obviously it protects just to see what I'm going to go for. But you no longer have a grounded immunity, so I'm just going to click EQ. Yeah. Obviously, they tried to get a little bit of initiative, but again, this just kills, and Krookodile is gonna start getting that Moxie train going here. I need a bit more chip on that Dondozo because if he was offensive, I need him around 50-60%, but everything else will die. Obviously, you see the Dondozo is going to come back in here, take a nice Spike Chip, get worn down again. And I'm obviously going to elect to not stay. I'm going to go into my Manaphy, knowing that this will be offensive. As you see here, we do see Liquidation, which does 25%, so that's good. Offensive Dondozo can be a problem if not checked properly. But yeah, this covered the Avalanche play, and this also covered a Liquidation play. I didn't expect Body Press to come out, knowing Brambleghast is still in the back. But yeah, so I don't think I Tail Glow. No, I do Energy Ball on the Annihilate. So yeah, this mon's getting, it's currently 150 base Rage Fist power, so it's getting pretty up there. I probably should have clicked Surf, but I didn't lose too much because I do still have a full health turn, a full health taunt. Sorry, but I'm just going to elect to sack off my Thistle here. It doesn't do anything for me. It can't beat anything really at this stage of the game. But yeah, so as you see here, the Clodsire is going to come in on this on my Brambleghast. And I'm just going to elect to get up my second layer of spikes on this mon. But yeah. Oh no, so I actually click Seed because now the Friggraph's dead, I can get a free Leech Seed off and punish the threat. But yeah. So you see, we're going to get some nice chip damage off on this Brambleghast, and I'm going to go, actually just sack it off because I really don't need this thing anymore. But yeah. So as we see here, the Clodsire is going to come in here, and I believe I do fire for Poltergeist because if this mon lived, I was just going to sack it off and get off a spike if I can. As you see, I get a cheeky spike up. So now I've got 2 layers of spikes. This is looking very good for the Krookodile endgame. I believe if I bring in Krook and get a kill, it can just win from this point. So I click Leech Seed just on this Clodsire just to get some more chip off. And as you see, it's going to Earthquake and pick me off. So this is at the point of which I can bring in my Krookodile here and kill with Earthquake, because obviously Clodsire is not the most physically defensive mon, and this is a max attack Adamant Krookodile. So yeah, we're going to bring this in here. I'm going to speed this up just a little bit, bring it back to normal. And as you see here, I do go for the EQ on the Dondozo. Now even Fizdef Dondozo gets to it carried after spikes. Usually it takes 34. So yeah, Krookodile comes in here and kills a Dondozo, and obviously Genesect is faster than me, so I switched out predicting the Thunderbolt. Yeah, so no, I predicted the Ice Beam to come off, so I went into my cycle to sack it off. Obviously, he locked into Thunderbolt, which makes some level of sense, I guess. But so Crocodile, so obviously it doesn't affect me. I'm going to click EQ and get that Moxie boost again, and this is it. This is going to be a Crocodile sweep. A nice 6 kills for the Crocodile. Carrot Cake doing very well. As you see, my opponent doesn't elect Terror, and I just killed the Annihilate with the Clodsire. So yeah, this was a very strong 5-0 win in our favour. Well thought out in my opinion, well processed. Not to pat myself on the back too much, but this team was very scary. If I let that Annihilate go unchecked, or if I let the Genetech get too many kills, I could have swept. But yeah, this I had to play this game a little bit more methodically and a little bit more longer, just to ensure that I got the win. But as I said here, as I said in the chat, I literally could have lost that point if I was not careful. So GG, well played to my opponent. I didn't get to shuffle my sets here, but I'm looking forward to showing off this team in future weeks and just obviously showcasing the power of Scarf Crocodile. But yeah, from matchup they didn't have a grass type and their only immunity was Zapdos. So yeah, this was a very, very glad I brought this set. But yes, that's nonetheless. Your Shanghai Dragonites are going to go to 2-1 in the UCA. We're a very strong win off the back of Scarf Crocodile. But yeah, as always, this has been Blazeman. If you can Dragon Claw that like button, I would appreciate it. Leave any comments down below. Let me know if you would have done anything differently in this match, or maybe brought in different sets. I would appreciate that as always. But until then, this is Blazeman signing off. Peace.